What's up, everybody? Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm Nick.
I realized this week that I'm a terrible person. So I went to McDonald's, right, and which I don't do, but I was thirsty and I was getting an iced tea, right? So um, it's $1 for a large iced tea. How are you going to pass that up? So anyway, I get in line, and they tell me that the person in front of me paid for me, right? So they're paying it forward or whatever, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm obligated uh, through karma to pay for the person behind me. But my cheap self thinks to myself, I only got an iced tea out of this $1 iced tea. There's a minivan behind me. I'm gonna get a $47 bill of 15
Wait,
fucking
hold on, dude. $47 at McDonald's?
Yeah, if you have
Yeah,
yeah,
even with a minivan, bro, your bill's gonna be like
minivan.
$11.
Well, I haven't been to McDonald's in like a decade and a half, so I don't know, but I thought that food was pretty cheap. $47, I would think, would go a long way at McDonald's.
Yeah, that would be a mother, a father, and 2 kids would be
Okay.
$47. Well,
You
yeah.
could spend $50. A family could spend $50 to get a meal at McDonald's.
Okay, man. Maybe there's a little hyperbole in my story, but anyway, what? Well, no, there's no hyperbole because $47 is what jumped into my head. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pay for 40. I only got $1
Yeah,
out
that
of this.
makes sense.
It does make sense, but I'm still a fucking asshole, and I was beating myself up all the way home. I couldn't. So now I got to go back to McDonald's, even though I don't want it, and just pay for the person behind me, so I could get this
Mhm.
goddamn gorilla of guilt off my back.
I think you made the right call. In fact, you should have told the lady to tell the people behind you that they were getting nothing. Like they're getting their order taken away because McDonald's is such horrible food for them. We all saw
You
Super
know what? Let me
Size Me.
actually help him. Tell him to fuck off. Don't get any McDonald's.
No, dude, their crispy chicken sandwich. They have a sandwich that they modeled exactly right after Chick-fil-A. Like it's just a one. It's a 1-for-1 copy. It comes in the same bag, same sauce, everything. It's amazing. It's incredible. I had to tell myself not to get it.
Hmm.
Anyway, let's talk about some video games.
Yep. Video games.
Not a whole lot this week.
No, we're kind of in the calm before the storm, before Christmas comes up and Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty comes out, and all the big games. We've got Back for Blood right around the corner, the New Age of Empires, but right now it's not a whole lot. So, what do you guys have on the radar?
Very quickly found this game called ANVIL, all caps, because they're serious, Bobby. The thing that it reminded me the most, I don't know how many people are going to remember this or get this, but Helldivers. So it's kind of like a twin stick shooter, multiplayer, roguelike. Very action centric, far future. You're playing as some sort of like Iron Man character running around, dodging explosions. I was seeing the boss fights are very position oriented. You gotta not stand here, go over there, activate the button, that kind of stuff. But there's not a lot. There's not enough action roguelike co-op. I think the roguelike. I mean the roguelike aspect of a game kind of fucks up the multiplayer because it's like who's gonna unlock the stuff, what's there's a lot of questions you got to fill. So that's why there's not a lot of them, because a lot of times roguelike is it's just a single player endeavor. You try over and over and over. You get frustrated, but you're slowly unlocking things. To do it in co-op, it just doesn't happen as much, but it should happen more. And hopefully,
Yeah.
this is a good one. It looks good. It looks fun. Just like mindless fun. Go in, kill a bunch of aliens as a big giant robot who doesn't want to do that. And the controls are, you know, twin stick shooter, which is super fun. So I don't know. I hope it's good. I looked up the dev. They've made nothing else. This is their first game, so good luck, fellas. Yeah, looks good.
All right, we got a
Cool.
price tag on this game yet?
Looks fun. No,
No price tag.
release date is late 2021, so right around the
Okay.
corner.
So for me, I kind of have like a weird situation. It's called UnMetal. It's I believe this game's first like game that is more than $12. It's part of the series. Their last game was called Unepic. Um, and this is UnMetal, and they're kind of like satirical games, and they're like spoofs of other popular games. This one is a spoof of Metal Gear Solid, like the original for like Super Nintendo and stuff. And like just the description is like UnMetal is a 2D stealth action adventure that plays homage to the classic with a healthy dose of humor and satire. You play as Jesse Fox, who is definitely not an elite commando under arrest for a crime he didn't commit and must escape a covert military base using his wits and fists. And it's just like the way the game looks, the way like the camera angle is, it's all Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like the way the art is and how everything looks, it looks hilarious. There is a free demo out right now. It's supposed to come out literally in 2 days. They don't have an official price, but everyone's saying it's supposed to be $15 from what I've seen on Reddit. The other game that they have is $12.99, but this one's supposed to be a little bit bigger because it's supposed to be it's supposed to be as long as the other 2 Metal Gear Solids.
I know they're going satirical. Oh, right when I was saying I know they're going for satirical, but I don't see a lot of like comedy. And then I saw him dressed as a big piece of cheese, trying to get rats to follow him. So it's in there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
What a good idea, dude. Because like, you could spoof movies. Why wouldn't you spoof a video game?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think this looks amazing. Unfortunately, these don't really do it for me. Like satire games don't really do it for me unless it's like,
oh yeah, on that growing list of satire games that you've played, dude. You son of a bitch! You never played one. You're being prejudiced.
Well, this could be a good game in its own right.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like from the video that we're watching, it looks like the best Nintendo game ever made.
Yeah,
this
it does, dude. It looks super solid.
Yeah. It kind of
Metal
reminds
Gear
me
Solid.
a little bit of that first Ninja Turtles game, or was it the second one? The one that had like the 2D scrolling beat 'em up, and then also it had like that 3-dimensional area. Anyway, I don't know. It looks pretty good, and $15 is a decent.
It does not look bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. But yeah, no, that's my on the radar for this week.
Did you play the demo?
No, I did not. Like I literally saw it yesterday, so
Gotcha.
nothing too crazy. I've been playing a lot of Hunt Showdown, which is our game of the week.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about that in a moment. I'm reading the chat here, and we got some people asking some questions. So before we move on to the games that we played, let's just do a little speed round here. Is anybody going to be playing Dying Light 2, Halo Infinite, Back 4 Blood, or Tiny Tina's Wonderland?
Back 4 Blood is a shoe-in. Everybody's going to buy that and play it.
Yes.
That's a yes. For
Yeah, definitely.
All the way around.
I think Amelia, shouldn't you be playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland? Isn't that a what's it called? A Borderlands thing?
It's a spin-off of Borderlands. I thought that we're going to.
It was the most popular DLC for any Borderlands game. So now it's getting its own standalone game.
But not just that; it's supposed to be like its own. It has its own mechanics as well. It's not strictly a Borderlands game.
Well, they need to switch it up anyway. I think we're a little tired of that.
Yeah. And when I saw the gameplay, I finally saw some gameplay. I'm like, oh, it looks exactly like Borderlands. I mean, I thought Tina's Wonderland was the best DLC they ever made. So this might be, but guys, I've played hundreds of hours of Borderlands, and I just got number 3. I got to a point where I was like, I can't do it anymore. So I need to see reviews, and I need to see like over 90% for me to get into this.
We do have a question from Diluted Reality. Yes, what's on the radar? That's our weekly / sometimes, depending if it's a story game, we do double weekly. So we take 2 weeks to review a game. Essentially, sometimes we all play different games, and we kind of have different like opinions on them. But on the radar, I had that way off.
Yeah.
On the radar is we find games that are not out yet, or that are out that none of us have played, and we talk about them, and they're like, hey, they're on our radar to possibly play and explore, and we explain what we think might be cool about them or features from them that seem pretty interesting.
And a lot of those come from our Discord. So in our Discord, we have a room called On the Radar. People post things that they find interesting. We peruse those and usually don't use them. But once in a while, I find something I really like. And that's how we find a lot of our stuff. It's a, you give, we give, we're helping each other. It's like a giant gaming circle jerk.
Yeah. As
Yeah.
far as the list that Reaper asked, I will be playing Back for Blood for sure. Halo Infinite because it's going to be on PC. Yeah. Dying Light 2. Yeah. I won't be playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Dying Light is bought, but I don't think it's day one bought. Not because I don't think it's going to be great, but it's like there's just so much to play right now. There's just that, and they have good sales. You know, they put their thing on sale eventually. So, yeah. But
I'm actually
maybe
going to
if
be
everybody
returning
else
a
does it,
game on Steam right now.
if all my other friends are jumping off a bridge, I'm going to jump off a bridge for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be returning Back for Blood because I totally forgot it's going to be on Game Pass. So what's the fuck is the point of owning it on
Yeah.
on Steam?
Bobby, I'm a little confused. Do you have Game Pass or not?
Yeah, probably. Well, I got to check and see because I just got it for the month,
Right.
so I don't know when that time's out.
Which cost you what?
I can't remember. It was the first time actually paying for it and not using a free code, so I think I got the entry fee. Whatever they're still
the
doing.
$1 for 3 months?
I don't know if they're still doing that. I think it might have been more, but it still was like a couple bucks or something.
Yeah.
It was really low.
Incredible.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about some games that we have been playing. I continue to play a lot more Slay the Spire, and I'm not going to talk too much more on that, except I've kind of gotten to the point with that game where I'm achievement hunting, and I know that I've really got into a game too much when I start trying to chase the achievements.
Damn.
I think I'm at like 30 or about 30 out of the 46 achievements. I think that's about right.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, but it's a weird thing when you start doing that because then you start playing the game in weird ways that are not
But
very
that's
organic.
100% the reason that they're there. Like you've already
Mhm.
run out of the organic stuff. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not you. It seems like you're on a fast forward track. But yeah, you know, you're playing in ways that they want you to. If I was making a game and I had a bunch of achievements, I would try to take players in directions they wouldn't naturally go.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Like a 3-card deck, that sounds incredible. You know?
Yeah, I actually just got that one. But
Oh shit. How's the deck work? What were the 3 cards?
well, that achievement you only have to get down to 3 cards. But then there's one for beating the game with only 5 cards, and that one's very difficult if you don't have one card in there that resets your deck and shuffles them back in so you can keep drawing. Because a lot of the time you do the most damage when you just get endless cards. You get some combination of cards that allow you to just keep drawing and
Yeah.
drawing and drawing. But yeah, the defect is definitely my favorite character there. He's the only one that I beat the end game with. After you beat the game the first time, they introduce a new boss, so you have to play the game again. And while you're playing the game, instead of picking up relics, you have to choose these, or you have to pick up these 3 things along the way that
Which
make
means
the key.
you're not picking up relics.
Yeah, so it makes it a little harder. Plus, the real boss, the real end boss, is extremely difficult. So I've only beat that once. And I've gone into it several times and thinking this is a lock, and then still died.
What's
so.
he called? The what?
I
the
can't remember.
character?
It's a big
No,
beating
sorry.
heart.
The character.
Oh, the defect?
Yeah, what's his thing? Mutation or
No, he channels different kinds of orbs. So he's got like these slots that come up, and you can channel different things that
Oh.
either do damage or give you shields or whatever. Yeah,
I played him once and I was like, I don't know what's going on.
he's a lot more interesting because he's got more of a complex play style.
Yeah.
The entry level guy, the Ironclad, is super straightforward
Yeah,
and
yeah.
simple.
Block, attack.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then the next one's kind of like a rogue style, lots of little attacks or poison. That's still very straightforward. But the last 2 I've had a lot of fun with. But yeah, it's still a great game. Probably going to be my last week on it, though. I think I'm kind of hitting the
Time
end.
for Monster Train, dude.
Bro,
Yeah.
have you been playing? Have you still been playing any Stardew Valley at all? Like, have you been
No,
any wine?
no, completely saturated that game. Just pretty much done everything I could in that. I mean, sure, there's a
That's a
few
little
little
sad.
things, but yeah.
Am I too drunk to know that we went into highlights without? Did we not announce it?
No, we went to highlights.
Announce what?
We're in highlights, right?
Oh yeah, we did. It's just such a smooth transition.
It was incredible, and it makes it even smoother when I point at it and I say, no, it didn't happen.
Genius.
So what have you guys been playing?
Absolutely nothing. My entire weekend was absorbed by work. I worked today, and then Friday, I got called in because we had a storm. We get it rains what rains, Bobby, 10 days a year here.
Yeah, we don't get much
We
rain.
don't get much rain, and we had a storm like lightning and all. And I had to call JP Diddy because we have the same truck, and I was joking. No, I wasn't joking with him. I was telling him I don't know how to use the windshield wipers because I couldn't figure it out.
What the fuck?
Dude, like it doesn't
That's
rain
what
here.
happens when you live in San Diego, dude. There's some people who drive cars that just don't have roofs out here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
What?
you can do that.
What
Yeah,
obscene shit are you talking about?
When I
Dude,
had-
it rains in the summer at least twice a week, dude. Here.
When I had a convertible, I would just leave my top down all the time. I just never put it up because it was all fucked up. But in general, like you just park it with no, like why would you? It's like a little go kart. Anyway, yeah. So that happened. So Friday I had to work. Today I had to work. Saturday was a UFC, a fantastic UFC 266. Check it out. So I didn't get to play any goddamn video games. So I'm going to listen to you guys because you're my video game friends.
All right, Nick, what did you play?
The only thing that I played besides Hunt Showdown was Ark, and surprisingly enough, so I get a new SSD, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna install it on my computer, and that was easy enough. We got bought a 1 terabyte. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna download Ark and play the new map that I've never played, and yeah, so I downloading Ark. I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be 64 gigs, you know, like it normally is, whatever. 338 gigs.
Holy hell. For the base game?
For the game and all of its DLCs, which you cannot turn off from auto downloading. You have to download them all and then like turn them all, like, how do I say this? Like, you have to turn them off from the downloads.
Oh.
Does that make
actively.
sense?
Yeah, actively, right?
Yeah, actively. And
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where did a third of my goddamn new fucking my new hard drive go?
Shit.
And so I was like, whatever. So I play the new map, and I feel like a boomer because I don't know what the fuck's going on. And there's so many goddamn new dinosaurs and shit. And I died like so many times on the public servers. There's so many fucking kids doing shit, and the game's changed so much. Like, it's gone from taming dinosaurs to like mythological creatures and a bunch of other shit.
Dude,
like,
this trailer makes me look like it's Halo. No, it's Halo in like Avatar Land. That's what it looks like.
yeah, like there is like you can play the game the way that people used to play it, where you're like, I build shit on the beach, and I have my house, and I have my dodos, and I have my raptors, and I have my T-Rex, and you have a good time, and you have your barbecue, and you just live your life. But then you're like, I'm taming dragons, and I got my laser dinosaur, and I got my lava eater dinosaur, and I have my starship, and I fight Satan himself, and he shits out candy, and you're just doing all this crazy shit. And
Is it really starships?
there's like floating like flotillas that are like hover ships and shit. There's like space whales. There's all kinds of stuff.
What did they?
The game got insane. Like it's all futuristic now.
What ended up being the story? It's are you a prisoner?
So from my Jesus Christ, the audio. From my understanding of the story, because I don't know it too well, but I do know the majority of it. You are the subject of an AI, and the AI is trying to figure out the peak evolution chain for mankind. And the reason why you can die and respawn and die and respawn is because you are just part of the evolution cycle of that planet. And the reason why like there's other people, and there's reason why there's like mythological creatures, and there's reason why there's like fake mythological creatures, the AI is constantly creating these things. And so like I think Arc 2 because they've already announced Arc 2. I think Arc 2 is just supposed to completely wipe all of that out. Like, it's no longer supposed to do anything with futuristic shit. Like, it's supposed to go completely back to its roots where it's a survival game. Because now Arc is insane now. Like, when it comes to like PvP and like anything like that, like if you ever want to see one of the most hard to understand things ever, look up clan PvP in Arc. It is one of the weirdest fucking things to ever understand. I would look it up when me and my friends would play, and like you're looking at like 80 dudes versus 80 dudes, and you would just see 100 to 200 of the same dinosaur just sprinting towards the other side, and then all of them just die like instantaneously. And the dinosaur, and like all of those dinosaurs that just died would require hundreds, if not thousands, of hours just to train and breed and to take care of, all just to die in an instant, only because their sole purpose is to take a hit of damage so you don't take one. And then, as well as like everybody has like these phenotypes and genotypes for like all their fucking dinosaurs and drakes and all this other shit. It gets to the point where like unless you're part of like a Chinese clan or like a European clan or like a North American clan where it's hundreds of people, it's obscene. You're using these colossuses that are like 300 feet tall, and it's a game of rock paper scissors that involves like hundreds of people. Not only that, you can teleport between maps. So the combat will be occurring on one map, and like a clan will lose a map, and then they'll start moving their assets to another map. And then because they own a teleporter on one map, they'll begin to teleport. Because one team has taken over the teleporter on one map, they'll begin to teleport into the other team's base on another. It becomes absolutely batshit insane. It is. It's just. It is the most. It is like one of the hardest things to understand. It's so crazy.
Is this game good?
Yeah, it's great.
Well, Cricket has like 5,000 hours in this game.
Yeah, no, he's one of those people that like gets this deep. To see him play the game and to see my friends play the game was like seeing like Patrick Willis, Hall of Fame, middle linebacker of the 49ers, play against 9-year-old Pee Wee football players. Like it was no fucking joke. Like he dislocated all of their collarbones and then killed their families. Like it was no jokes. Like my friends were like, "Oh guys, I tamed a griffin," and like Cricket was like, "I have 38 dragons," and we're just like, "What? What did you say?" He's like, "I'm ready to destroy all your bases."
Nick,
Now-
we got a rule on the podcast: no sports metaphors. Nobody
Yeah.
gets them.
Besides Bobby. But no, yeah, it's bonkers. The game is actually fun if you play on a private server, which we always do. We never play on public servers because it's chaos.
38 dragons sounds like a lot for a McDonald's order. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they're gonna wrap up that order. You don't want to pay forward for them.
It's called the callback, guys. All right.
Yeah.
I need you to
But
shut
yeah.
up, Nick. We're going to move on to Astroneer.
Astroneer. So last week I had mentioned that I was interested in playing this game. Played it in early beta, and the game has changed a lot. Totally different. It's a whole different game now. So it has reached its 1.0 release, probably more at this point. And it's got new features like multiplayer, but the core gameplay is pretty much the same. It's a survival game, an exploration game. It's got this really beautiful animation style to it. It's a pretty game. But here's what's weird about it. So it's an exploration game, but you have to worry about oxygen. So you have to constantly build these things called tethers that allow you to breathe as you go explore. So you're constantly having to craft these things and then stick them, like you have to daisy chain them along certain routes. You can see the blue tube that's coming out of the little astronaut guy there. That's like his oxygen line. So as long as you're close to one of these tethers, you can breathe. Now you can breathe if you run out further for a little while, but you'll eventually die. But it's just kind of strange because there's so much in this world. You can run off into the distance. You can go into these caves. There's this whole underground area, but you are really slowed down by these tethers. And it's kind of frustrating, to be honest.
Maybe it's on purpose. You know, they don't want.
Well, no, I think it exactly is, because there really isn't a lot of stuff that can kill you. You can take fall damage. There's some plants that like burst poison, but there's really not any threats out there. So they have to some way limit you, I suppose. And I didn't make it too far. I didn't even get like fully construct a vehicle yet, but I imagine like you can put perhaps oxygen on that, and there's ways to be more mobile. I would have really liked to have tried out the multiplayer. I think that would have made this game a lot more fun.
That's where it looks where it's at, man.
Yeah.
Just from, you know, most of the screenshots are the multiplayer games.
Yeah. It's still weird because I'm still kind of looking at this as a single player game, and I thought it was so strange that they had microtransactions in it for cosmetics. You can get these different astronaut suits for your little guy.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that just seems so awkward, like such an awkward fit for this game. But I guess if it's multiplayer and you want to show off to your friends, like, yeah, okay, you can have microtransactions and in-game currency for that. This game went way up in price too. I did not pay, I think it's $30 US.
Nope.
I did not pay that when I first got this game.
95% overwhelmingly positive though, with just under 2,000. I can't tell.
Yeah, people like this game, but it is a crafting survival game, and you know I hate those. I do like how you don't chop down trees in this really, but you have this vacuum cleaner gun, and that's how you gather resources. It actually terraforms. It takes away the soil too where you use it. So if you're trying to get a mineral, you start digging these holes, and you can use it to kind of like staircase your way out of caves and stuff as well. So that's interesting. You can get attachments to your gun that can change the way that works. But it's a pretty good game. Like I didn't love it, but I didn't really expect it being a crafting survival game. But I will say this: it has come a long way. It is. I wish I could remember exactly why, but when I first played it in early beta, it was unplayable. Like I reached a point where I was just like, "This, I'm going to come back to this. This is not worth playing right now."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a lot. Yeah, it's like a complete game now.
And an actual game.
It's so fun. Bobby, did you make it off your first planet?
No.
So the game gets really weird when you get off the first planet. Like you get to the point, and it's actually very much luck based. From because when me and my friends played, we got off the planet and we started a new save multiple times to get other friends in and stuff like that. And we got off the planet multiple times. And it's different every time. And we required way different materials every time we got off the planet. Like, oh, we need platinum. Then this time now we need uranium. And like the asteroid we would get on, or whatever the moon we would get on, like would be, would definitely not have it. And like it gets way more complex. The game gets way more complex once you start hopping around planets and meteors and shit. So yeah.
And is there any type of end game to this? I can't imagine there would be.
I don't know. I never got.
They did have a quest system that I don't think was there when I first originally played this. And the quest system was just like kind of guiding you through leveling up your base, basically. So, it was just, it didn't seem like there was any story attached to it or anything.
I don't know, to be honest. I played this game like 2 years ago. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it might have been a different game back then, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. I mean, if you're into these types of games, I'd recommend checking it out. Yeah. All right. Well, before we move on to we've got to talk about Hunt Showdown. But while we wait for Emilio to come back, because I'm sure he wants to be part of that conversation, let's just give a quick shout out to some new subs this week. It's not the first of the month, but we got a lot of subs. Thank you, Brendolf TV, gifting 2 subs. Thank you very much. We've got the Reaper coming in at 6 months, half a year. Robeman, 8 months. And then we just got, of course, Recycled longest sub of all time, 37 months since the beginning. Every time he subs, it's a reminder of how long we've actually been streaming these shows.
It makes me feel so weird. I'm like, dude, because I think I've only been on at this point now for 10 months. I've been on since
Has it been that long?
the yeah, I think I've been on since February. No. Since the week after New Year's of this year.
Okay.
So yeah, almost 10 months.
Wow.
Uh, and then I've also had guest spots multiple times. And to hear like 36 months, it's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
So
Long time.
it's been a long time. So first off, I just want to open up with the banger fucking news of us playing Hunt Showdown. And I want to give props to the Reaper in chat and to Emilio. Because we were playing Hunt Showdown before we came in, and it was the Reaper's second game, and Emilio's like fourth game of the day, and we fucking won.
Yeah.
We extracted with it. We got a bounty. We extracted with the bounty.
Let's
We killed the team. We killed the boss, and we extracted, and it was amazing.
let me let me do the gameplay loop. I listened to our last week's podcast, and I don't think we got it across. In case you haven't played one of these games and you don't know what it is, so you have a character. He has gear. If he doesn't have gear, you can buy gear for him. But when you go into this game, you're gambling. It's like putting in your ante, because that's what you're putting up. You have these guns, and if you die in this game, you're going to lose those guns. And so there you spawn, and then there's clues around, and you can go and search out these clues. If you get 3 clues in a area, you know where the boss is. If you kill the boss, then you perform like a ritual, and that ritual takes 3 minutes, and people are alerted that this ritual is going on. So you kind of fortify where you're at, and you hold fast, and hopefully you pick up the soul. You pick up the soul, you get this special ability where you can see other players. It's a limited ability. You can't play it too. You can't like spam it. So, and then you just try to get the fuck out of Dodge. That's the whole gameplay loop, pretty much. But you can get money and XP and all this stuff. But essentially, every time you play, you're risking everything you have. But the stronger you get, but the more you're risking. Right, Nick?
Correct. Yes, I think the only thing that you're missing is that to be able to win. I mean, there's you don't have to get a soul to necessarily quote unquote win. You simply just have to take an extract, which is like either a boat or a buggy, and they're set on the map. And so, like for example, if you pick up a bunch of shit and you think you can leave, and you just want to leave with like the money and stuff that you found, you can just leave. You don't have to. You don't have to have uh, a soul. Like you can just go. So
Well, we talked about it a little bit. It, if you don't get a bunch of loot and you use some ammo, you might take a loss, but at least you don't lose all your shit. But
yeah,
if you did get some XP and you did get some money, you can hedge your bet and be like, "Fuck it, I got enough, and I could call it quits." Basically,
yeah.
yeah.
And unfortunately, we kind of started the challenge at the end of an event, which is kind of shitty because the event was really cool. It was an event where it was like a Native American event where you chose one of 2 paths, and the events are really cool because you level up weapons. You level up weapons normally. The more you use the weapon, the more you unlock certain versions of it. So, like for example, if you use a lever action, if you use it multiple times, you can unlock a version where it has a scope on it, or it has a silencer on it. Well, on the event, you either choose a tomahawk that you can throw, or you choose a bow and arrow. And like the bow and arrow, you unlock different arrows, and the tomahawk, you unlock different types of tomahawks. And so there's always something to do in this game, and there's usually one event every month to 2 months.
There seems to be there's a lot to it. I feel like every item has things you should know about it. This is a game where
Yes.
like you're gonna learn. I was asking Nick things, and he's like, "Dude, I don't know." You know, just straight up, I don't know what that is. So, there's a lot to it. I got and the perk system is really interesting because you never know what perk you're gonna get. I got something called Gator Legs, which means I can run, I think, faster in water than I can on land. And I was just
Yeah,
like,
gator legs.
I felt like a fucking motorboat. I was just like fucking running through the swamp super fast. It was awesome.
It was
Um,
hilarious because he's like, "Let me get." So I'm telling you, I'm trying to like warn these guys about things like, "Hey, don't shoot this guy in this place. Hey, this guy does this. Hey, this guy does this." Because not only are you worried about other players, right? You want to shoot as little as possible because you're alerting other players to where you at, unless you're looking for action. Um, and so there's these things that are in the water and they're like tentacle monsters, and they pretty much instantaneously kill you if they touch you. And I'm telling these guys, I'm like, hey, try to stay out of water. A, it makes a fuck ton of noise. And B, it slows you down. And C, the tentacle monsters are sometimes in there and they'll instantly kill you. And so Emilio gets this perk. It's called Gator Legs, and he's just zooming through the water. I'm like, damn, this is awesome. Because I get it too, and we're just running all the way through. And so the next game comes along, and we don't have that perk anymore. And he's like, oh, fuck it. I'll just run through the water anyways. I didn't get eaten before. And then immediately one of the tentacle monsters shows up. And I'm like, Emilio! He's like, turn around. He's like, shoot it!
I did
And we
kill it
just
with an axe though. It
shooting
was
at it.
pretty sweet. Um,
Yeah, we just started shooting at it, and he eventually got out. Luckily, we killed it in time.
And the
So,
reason I say that there's so much behind every item is like, I started with your regular guy, like a badass, like Clint Eastwood looking motherfucker. And then I was like, I don't know, I played 2 games. I'm like, I'm just not feeling it. Then I played a different loadout. They give you 2 characters for free. Not to say that all the characters are skins, right, Nick? And then you
yes, all
change
the
it.
characters. Well, some characters have different health bars, but fundamentally, they are skins.
Yeah. So you can put any loadout on any skin. But anyway, I tried a different loadout, let's say, even though it came with a different skin. And uh I enjoyed that play style so much more than the other one that I was trying. And so it completely changed the game for me. And that was just swapping out 2 items. And I'm sure this game has more than 10 items or 10, you know, uh first slot items. Funny enough, my second character, his primary weapon, his one, was a melee. Uh, and my other character, his rifle was the one. So I feel like the game is kind of trying to tell you that that's his strongest weapon. So I was using that axe, and it was chopping everything down. You could chop fucking doors down. There's so much. There's bear traps. There's fucking lanterns. There's a lot to this game, but inherently it's very very fun because there's a lot of ambushing, and sometimes you're the ambusher, and then sometimes you're the ambushee. There's a lot of third partying, coming in at the right time, listening. You're squatting down, you're listening, but there's not the long 5 minute stretches of PUBG where nothing's going on. I would say if there's 3 minutes with something going on here, that's a long time. It's constant action because sound effects are
Dude, we were
going off.
getting eaten alive like every 5 fucking seconds. Like we were like, oh, there's a bug lady over there. Oh, there's a guy on fire. Oh, there's hellhounds. Like,
The
and like we
NPCs
just
are no joke. Like I remember, fuck, it was DayZ, I guess. I'm trying to think of a similar game, but the NPCs they're just a joke. They're just fodder. You just shoot them, whatever, and maybe the sound of it. No, these are the first game we just got killed by hellhounds, just straight up. No other thing happened. Obviously, I was new to the game, but yeah, you have to, and everything has to be killed in a certain way, or have their certain traits, and it's a horror game, guys. Like I got scared. The fucking hellhound bit me in the ass. I was like, "What the fuck?" I didn't see that coming. It's a really interesting mixes of genres. I think it plays really well. What does this cost right now?
$40.
It's $39 when it goes on sale. It sometimes goes down to $14.99. The sale it was last on, it was $19.99, and then you got like 4 DLCs for free. And the DLCs usually involve character skins and weapon skins, and then in-game currency to buy more character skins.
Mm. So Nick played this with Clown Lotion. Was it during the interview, Nick?
So no, I didn't play during the interview. I ended up playing. I was just one night I saw Lotion on, and I was like, "Hey man, I need somebody to play Hunt Showdown with. I don't want to play alone. Do you want to play?" And he's like, "Man, let's definitely play." And so we played. We only played 3 games, and we won all 3 games in a row.
So,
We just completely stomped the yard.
so satisfying, right?
Yeah, and then the funniest thing in the world is that we won the first 2 games, complete like utter like stomping. Like we hardly took any damage, any hits at all. The last game, we're like, all right, this is gonna be the last one. I gotta go after this. I gotta go to the store, blah 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 blah. And we're like, all right, let's get the first clue, because the way the system works is you have to find clues to find where the boss is at, kill the boss, get his soul, leave. Sometimes you can find the boss without even finding a clue.
Just stumbling upon it.
And so I hear this fucking meaty footstep sounds inside of a barn, and I'm like, I think there's a boss in this building, man. And he's like, nah. Like literally within like 30 feet of where we spawned. And he's like, that's not possible, man. And I'm like, I don't know. I really think he's in there. And he's like, go check. I go check. I'm like, he's in there. He's like, you're fucking with me. I'm like, I shoot him, and then it's like, the butcher has been found. And he's like, oh my God. And so we kill him in less than 4 minutes. The whole server begins to run towards where we're at. Because as soon as you kill him and you start the ritual to collect his soul, the whole server can see where you guys are at. And he had the ingenious plan of, instead of trying to get the soul and just leaving immediately, he's like, let's get to the highest point of the building, wait till everybody comes, they're just going to kill each other, and then we'll just wait until whoever's left alive and kill them. It was just one lady, and then we just shot her in the face and then left, and then we won.
Out of 8
was-
teams converging on you.
Yeah,
It's really
it was
interesting
awesome.
because you're scared of NPCs. I mean, zombies, obviously, you just chop them up or whatever.
Well,
You're
what's
scared-
the other option to dealing with the NPCs? Is there like a stealth mechanic to this game? Like, do you just creep around them?
You can walk around them, definitely, but like the thing is, they're all over the place,
around
and
corners.
there are mechanics to reveal your position.
Yeah.
And
So
so like you may be trying to avoid one thing, but you might just make the accident of running into something else. And playing slow is not rewarded whatsoever. Like
Nick, a couple times he was like, "Oh, this emulator, what do you call it? The fire guy, whatever." Emulator, yeah. He's like, he's aggroed on somebody. So we followed the zombie to find our prey, and that worked out, I think, more than once. Well, no,
twice.
one time it was he was aggroed on our third guy, and the other time he was actually aggroed on another team, and we just kind of followed that zombie and found who we were after.
One thing I will say about this game though is that there's some things that you kind of, the tutorial doesn't teach you. So for example, there's these really big guys that are made out of slugs, and when you kill them, first of all, they're really hard to fucking kill. Second of all, they can drop these things called they're essentially perks, and it's a 50% chance. If you don't know that, and they're big fucking deals, because they can just be like, oh, you can fire 4 times as fast with your pistol. You go from having to manually pull the lever on your pistol to be able to fan it back as fast as you can. And it's like the game doesn't tell you that, so you just don't know. And so there are some times where you're like, if someone's new, you might be like, hey man, you might want to watch this video that kind of explains a couple things. So like I told the Reaper in our chat, I go, you know, this game has a learning curve, but it's not nearly as bad as a learning curve as like a game like Tarkov. So it's great.
Yeah, and there's I think you can it like say we went out and just started hunting those zombies, Nick. We could probably farm perks, right? And just wait until we find out who's got the goods and then
And
just
people
chase.
do that.
Yeah.
People do that. People also hunt just people the whole time. Just wait for gunshots and just run towards the gunshots and kill people, and then just camp the extract and wait for people to get there and take the souls and leave.
I do want to say that eh, like it's a very interesting dichotomy between like NPCs are scary and then once you have the soul, you got the prize. Now players are scary because you can see them through walls and stuff because you have special
And they can
powers
see you as well.
and they can see you and now you're running from them and it's really interesting like the whole game flips. We were like watch out, get behind that crate. Are they coming from the south? No, head to the north. And then and it was like a very busy, but we're all being professional and we got out of there. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. This is a good game, really good game.
The last thing I'm going to mention is one of the oddest dynamics about it is if you play with three people, which is the way the game was originally designed to play, is that you have to dynamically choose who gets what because anything that refills any resource can only be collected by two people. And so if there's like a box of shotgun ammo, me and Bobby can pick it up, but then Emilio can't.
Yeah,
The bounty can only be picked up by me and Emilio, but then Bobby can't.
yeah, that was cool of you, Nick. By the way, he was like, "You guys to pick it up. You guys are new players." So
And
me and your friend picked it up, and we got the reward.
yeah, and so when we were leaving, I was like, "You two pick it up," and because there are two teams behind us, and what happens if the enemy team gets too close to the carriage, it'll stop the carriage, and then the 30-second timer then restarts.
Yeah,
So it's like, you guys go to the carriage, I'll get to the edge of the border, and if they get close, I'll slow them down. And I was like, just let me know when there's 5 seconds left, and I'll run back in and we'll leave. And so that worked perfectly.
think about like a Left 4 Dead leaving event, extraction event. That's basically what it is.
They do have that on Back for Blood. Well, at least in the first map.
Well, I'm sure it's probably all of them now. I mean,
Well, they've got an event at the end where you've got to escape.
yeah.
You got to run into a boat, grab some stuff, set some bombs, and get out of there.
Well, Cornelius was asking if your mic was on, Bobby. Just putting it out there, man.
Yeah. Well, I didn't play this game. I'm letting the people who played it talk about it.
Oh, that's good. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So recommendation.
Yeah, for you know what?
100%.
I would say it's worth the $30. I mean, obviously, guys, wait for a sale. Don't just jump onto this
Well, it's
game.
$40.
Okay.
You gonna stand by that? That's the line right there, 30 and 40.
30 and 40. I mean, you're
What
talking
about
about
35?
25%.
$35. Can I get 35? 35 here. 35 here.
Okay, I'll give you 35. Here we go.
35. Sold to the gentleman drinking, what is that?
Whiskey water.
Whiskey water.
Yeah.
So just
God,
water
that
and
is
whiskey.
disgusting. That
Yep.
is disgusting.
Well, I cured my hangover from last night, so I'm feeling pretty good. All right.
All right.
Listener
Let's get to listener
questions.
questions.
Let's get to it. We also had another sub. Thank you, Dark Cheetos. First question coming from Pyronical. All three of you have fairly different game preferences. Which game would have the highest combined hours from all three of you?
What a good question.
It's
Damn.
interesting. I think this
TF2?
hinges on Nick. Well, it'd be TF2 for me and Emilio for sure.
Yeah, no
I have
questions.
400 hours in it.
So there you go.
Okay, yeah.
It's got to be that.
TF2 is like the common ground everybody has, I feel like.
Well,
Well, some of these,
if you're
Yeah.
over 30,
yeah. I think Christian
Wow.
played it
29.
for the first time.
I
about
turn
a year
30
ago.
next year.
yeah. I mean, what else? What would be another one?
Yeah, because I
WoW?
saw this
Oh.
question, I was trying to think of it. Yeah, Nick, have you played a lot of WoW?
I mean, over 1,000 hours. Yeah.
All right.
Divinity: Original Sin. I think we'll
Yeah,
have a lot
probably
of time.
A lot of
Divinity.
that. Over.
So
over
basically, the
500
best
hours.
games of all time.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Witcher.
Yeah.
Fallout for me. Yeah.
I barely played The Witcher. I played only a couple
Skyrim.
hours.
Yep, Skyrim.
I
But
haven't played much.
It really actually depends on what Bobby has played the most, and then it's a common denominator between me and Emilio.
yeah, because Nick and I have played them.
Yeah.
As far as the beginning of that question, all three have very different game preferences. I for me it goes hardcore FPSs, so games that punish you for making mistakes, or like very quick time to kills, strategy 4X games, so like Total War specifically, and then I would say horror games. Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to lean more towards the strategy games these days. But I don't know. I still play such a variety of
Yeah.
things.
A roguelike.
Are you gonna be Are you going to be picking up Total War when Total War Warhammer 3 comes out, Bobby?
No, I don't think so.
Come on, man. You know they're going to have like the super chungo like Total War Warhammer 3 sale where they have all three games for like $80.
I don't think I've played any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I must have at some point in my life, but I've.
We covered. There was a demo of the second one, and we played it, but we both played it.
Okay.
It was very short, though.
All right.
Yeah.
Pyronical has a follow-up question here for Emilio. He says he needs cheaper shipping for Inseedious. Shipping to New Zealand is 3 times the price of the product.
It's tough, man. And shipping within the U.S. is tough. It's like it's our biggest hurdle, honestly. Speaking of Inseedious, go to Inseedious.com with the word seed in it and buy some of my hot sauce. It's fucking awesome. And it's different from anything you've probably ever had.
All right. Well, we hit our plug limit here, so calm down there.
Oh.
Look at Christian just shaking his head.
Shaking his head instantly while he's drawing weird ass Link. Is that Link?
Link, you got it, dude. Wow, that's amazing.
It's Loink.
Oh boy. All right, next question coming from Zap. Do any of you have your PCs hooked up to a TV? If so, what are your favorite games to kick back and play from the couch?
Well, I do want to say another shout out to Plex. And Bobby, that was your thing.
Oh, yeah,
I know it's not
Plex.
games, but like any movie you have downloaded randomly, who knows how you get those? But if you have a downloaded movie on your PC, you can just play it. I have never even seen a stutter, dude. Like Plex is fantastic. Full 4K, whatever you want, it plays perfectly from your hard drive to your TV screen through the Plex app, and it's great. And if you're remote, you can stream it from your home PC to your phone through the fucking magic of the satellites. But you have to pay $5 for that, right? $5 a month.
Yeah. Wait, for Plex?
To be able to stream from your home PC to your phone.
No, it's a one-time $5 fee.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or you can buy, they do have a subscription service where you get a whole bunch of other stuff too. Or you can pay like a lifetime membership, which is a one-time huge fee, and you get like the app plus everything else. But now we're just doing an ad for Plex at this point.
I mean, they deserve it. I think it's a fantastic
it's a great little program. Love it.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about
games on the TV.
Games on the TV. It Takes Two is a popular one around here. And yeah, I would say that's the number one that we play on the TV.
Well,
Sam and
I've got an old TV. My TV is hooked up to my computer just with an HDMI cable. I've actually got it going up a door frame, back down a door frame behind my bed. It's like a 50-foot cable that just, it looks good though. Like I've got the molding, like the conduit thing that you run it through. So it looks great. But anyway, my TV is so old, it doesn't have this game mode or whatever these new TVs have. So I get significant input lag whenever I play.
Hell yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It was terrible on those TVs. I mean, this TV's from 2010, 2011, but I've never really noticed it because all the games that I do play on the TV are not, they don't require like really quick reaction time. The first time I ever noticed it was when I was playing one of the Mortal Kombat games, and I was playing against a friend of mine who lived somewhere else, and God, it must have been like Mortal Kombat 8 or 9. It was a while ago. But I was just getting worked over in that. And it was just, in a fighting game, of course, you're going to feel like if there's any sort of delay. But yeah, so my TV is not ideal for that. So anything that I do play on there, it's very rare that I actually sit down with a controller and play something on my TV. But if I do, it'll be something really casual, or if I have people
Yeah.
over.
For me, I've got a couple consoles, so I just really just play on the consoles. So, um, as far as computer games to play on anything like that, I don't really use anything at all. So,
Hmm.
Well, you have like a
um,
fucking gaming megaplex in that office of yours, dude.
I mean, it's all models and shit, and Leslie moved all of her stuff upstairs. So
Are we done
yeah,
with that question?
Yeah,
yeah.
Zap's
I
got another question here.
Let me interject real quick.
Okay.
Nick, you're playing D&D, and then you had 3D models of the people. You're the DM. People are playing,
Mhm.
and then you had 3D models printed out for each character, right?
So that is a touchy subject. So
Why? Yeah.
some of the people in my group have models. Some of them don't. Some of them decided to print out their own. Some of them asked to other people to print them out, and those people said that they would print them out, and they fucking did it.
What's it
They
cost to print something out? It's just the plastic, right?
No, it's not. So there's a company called Hero Forge, and if you
Yeah.
want one made out of metal, it costs like $80 because it's metal casted. But like if you so there's different types of printing. There's resin printing, which is ass. You can't paint them. Well, you can, but you have to scrub them with a paintbrush. With a toothbrush. You have to clean them. Usually, you have to do multiple coats of paint. You lose detail and shit like that. They're just known for being really tedious and hard to paint. And then there's plastic, which is like what all that shit is behind me. You have metal, and then you have like high grade plastic, which is usually comes in black, which is like what your normal 3D printing plastic is, like normal high quality 3D printing plastic that most people use to like pirate models out of. Um, Hero Forge most people use because it's extremely customizable. Like they have like 30 different races you can use, and it's all like sizable and like customizable. Every piece is customizable of the model.
What's it cost? For
I think Leslie's model was $39.
and that's plastic.
That's precision plastic. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like a really pretty. Are you gonna paint it or?
She's gonna paint it. I think the only thing I might do to it if she asks me to is prime it. I just know that's I primed and painted a fuck ton of models, and priming is arguably the most important step. So
Hmm. Interesting.
yeah,
We were talking earlier, and he sent me pictures of her model because he's a DM, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's fucking awesome that you could just have that done for 40
yeah,
bucks." I mean, a campaign if you're really gonna do it, which is what you guys are doing. I mean, you guys are doing it IRL.
yeah. We've been playing for I think at this point now 4.5 months, and we're gonna take our first significant break where we haven't played in 2 weeks, and that'll be a 2 week break. And most of our sessions are 3 to 4 hours long, and usually once a month we play um 2 times a week.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
yeah. So you
So
guys have put in fucking hours
yeah,
of shit.
and a lot of the stuff is custom lore or mixed lore from different universes. I'm
Oh
dealing
yeah,
with
we
Magic
know
the
which
Gathering.
one. Yes, we know, Nick.
I'm dealing with Magic the
You've DM'd
Gathering,
my Yeah, yeah.
D&D
I know. Yeah.
5e, Star Trek. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's been a super fun time. We rotate on who brings food. Um, like one time somebody brought ramen, like all the stuff to make ramen. One time we made an enchilada bake. Sometimes people bring pizza. So like we get real fucking creative. It's awesome. It really is something we all look forward to every week. Like every day we usually say something in the chat about Thursday or Saturday. So that's usually when we play.
That's awesome, dude. I wish I had that in my life. I really
Well,
do.
yeah, you get too much. You got too much shit to
Like
experience happiness.
like a in person D&D group
Oh,
with my
I
friends.
forgot to tell you the next level. We all have costumes.
Oh boy. All right, you took
Yeah,
it too
Leslie.
far.
Leslie has like a tunic
Yeah, I'm done.
and like a bag of holding and like a coif and like fucking fake chainmail. And then like Reaper has like contacts and like colors his hair, and he's got like a robes and shit. And like our druid dresses up, and she looks like a weird pirate lizard lady, and it's cool.
Good, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking
And then
awesome.
for me, because I'm the DM, I dress up as a villager.
How'd you learn find all these other nerds?
D- So for those that don't know, and I only have 10 months left, I'm a linguist in the military, and that's where all the fucking nerds are in the military.
Oh,
And
linguists.
so it's like, does anyone want to play D&D? And then you get like 1,000 fucking hands raised up in the air. And so you just choose all the ones that have a car.
All right, let's back to the show. Sorry, guys.
Well, we've got our last question here. This one's from Zap. He says, if you could bring back one defunct studio, what would it be and what games would you like them to make? I'd love to see LucasArts make modern Star Wars games.
I would like to see Blizzard make Blizzard games again. They're defunct. I'm done. Yeah.
Like the original Blizzard
Yeah.
team
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the mid-90s.
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. It's a trick question, though, because there's a lot of developers that were part of studios, and the studio is now defunct, but the developers have gone on to do their own things, joined other studios. So they're still out there making games. And sometimes you can really get caught up in a studio's name, but it could be completely different people working on the game.
I've been saying this for years. Well, it's different, man. I really feel like in the console space, developers have more staying power. For some reason, in PC, it seems like it's more transient. Like they might put out a fantastic game, and then 4 years later, it's a different team, same name, and you're like, oh, this is nope, the game sucks, and I don't know. It seems like
Console games are probably more steady work, I imagine.
yeah. You're probably already signed up for the sequel before the first one comes out, or as soon as the first one comes out.
My answer is Visceral Games. It's the people that made the original Dead Space and all that shit.
Well, there's a couple studios that got suckered in by EA and then just got chewed up and spit out. And it would be interesting to see what would have happened had that not happened. I mean, who knows if it would be better or not. But yeah, Visceral Games. What was the SimCity developer? I can't remember the name of it. And then also, did that happen to Obsidian? Was that Obsidian?
I feel like they got absorbed.
Yeah, I think
It
so.
wasn't EA though.
Oh, Maxis. Okay, Maxis was SimCity. No, the Mass Effect series. What was that?
BioWare?
BioWare. Yeah, they were one of the ones. Yeah, getting confused here. But yeah, it would just be interesting to see what would have happened if they hadn't signed up with EA, because it was the same thing with all of them. Like they signed up with EA, they were coming out with some new game. Game was a huge flop, and then they just closed down the studio.
Yeah. So there's our answers. What are you guys playing next week?
I think everyone's playing
New World,
right?
Yeah, but are you?
Probably not now. I'm not gonna get involved in New World. Yeah, things.
This
to
is my
do.
judgy face, dude.
Yeah, well.
Just wait till you
can't go
hear
down that rabbit hole.
how much fun we're having next week.
Mhm.
So our game of the weeks. Huh? Do we do 2 weeks? I don't know. We'll play it off here. We'll say how it goes next week. It's gonna be New World. I know. I listened to that episode today, and I gushed too much. Like I creamed my panties all over this podcast. I really gotta apologize for everybody. Like I was like, oh my god, New World's new heroine, and yeah, it was because I've been disillusioned by MMOs for years. Like I'm just like this same shit, and I'm like, whoa, new shit done well. What is this? And so I was really up on it. I'm still up on it. Comes out Tuesday. I'm gonna play it. Like 3 or 4 people that I know are gonna take a day off to play this. The only downside of that is like, what if the servers crash because there's too much influx? Like, and then you
The
take the day
Amazon
off.
servers? I don't know, man.
That's true. That's true. So you're encouraging me to take the day off, is what you're saying?
Go for it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah. So New World next week probably, and that's our game of the week.
That's the GOTW.
But yeah. But can I give you my login, Bobby? Will you try it? If I give
Yeah,
you
I
my
mean, I'll try it.
I mean,
Bobby's the
whatever.
worst.
Play
man.
5 hours of an MMO and then come on a podcast.
I'm
and
not
act
gonna
like I know what I'm
like
talking
it.
about.
Ugh.
Bobby's like, my world has been consumed by by New World.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, I'm imagining there'll be a lot of talk about that.
Yeah.
We got someone in chat who keeps going off about Manor Lord. Maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah, it's like a Total War kind of
Oh.
esque game.
Well, never mind then.
Not Warhammer, just Total
Oh,
War.
it's not Warhammer? Okay, then maybe.
All right,
Let's
cool.
see.
Nick, you got anything? Oh, you're on New World too, right?
Yomp.
It's on the New
Yup.
World trend.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all over the Discord.
It's almost like a new world.
Mhm.
All right. Is that it, everybody?
Yep.
Speaking for Chris's judgy eyebrows, Nick's chubby cheeks, Bobby's judgy face, all new titties by guys, all new titties. Dun, dun, da, 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 da.
Ooh boy.
Ooh boy. Breathe, Nick. It's okay.
Oh man, I wish I get my birthday off. I wish I was born just one day later.
Don't we all?